Hi guys, it's Jaime Vernon, Lexi Vernon's mom, and I thought it might be a little easier if I shot a video explanation of some of the questions that you had regarding school-age children and the issues that you're seeing probably with your kids. So here goes. Short version, Lexi's bilateral was implanted by about 18 and a half months, and she was activated at 19 months. Obviously really started gaining momentum with language closer to 22 to 24 months. She did really well. Everything was great. We mainstreamed her. She made up 2 years in her first year of speech. We did ABT, all of the above, went to Mama Lear Hearing School. She was mainstreamed by her last year of pre-K completely. We had done a bit of a modified partially Mama Lear, partially mainstream school in pre-K just to get her all the language. So she really flew. My point was she was optimal. And so when we went to school, everything was great. Around second grade, I started noticing that her, she goes to a private school, that her grades were not matching her standardized testing scores. And so I kind of kept crying out and saying, something's not right, something's not right. Finally, we sat down. We had new administration at our schools. I sat down with them and I said, this is what I'm seeing. They agreed that they were also concerned about what I was seeing. So at the same time, I was calling Dr. Lund, Dr. Emily Lund, who was one of her speech path amazing dream teams that we had. And she's now at TCU. We live in Nashville. Mama Lear Hearing School that she attended is at Vanderbilt, one of the best programs. Emily is now in Fort Worth, Texas at TCU. So we start talking and she's saying, this is something that we're seeing and that's kind of a new emerging topic. No one's really diving into this as much in terms of research as we probably need to. And I've been interested in this topic, she tells me, and so let's use Lexi and dive into it. So what we found, here's the gist. It's more about the time that Lexi wasn't stimulated with sound and language, as opposed to, in addition to cochlear implants. So cochlear implants are a miracle, amazing, incredible, all of the above. What we were also seeing were her teachers were reporting that she seemed to have ADHD symptoms. She seemed to not be focused. She couldn't, lots of different things, and almost spaced out a little bit. And what we found was because of her language gap and because of the time that she wasn't stimulated, those 2 years, Lexi's bucket of what information she can hold is shorter. Her brain hasn't been, so if you think of her focus and attention strategies, and I coach her and have for years, and it makes so much sense now when everyone else is starting to lock eyes at a certain age and getting better at those strategies. Lexi was still basically kind of 2 years behind, which makes total sense. And then when you talk about teachers in a classroom and they're giving a long set of instructions and there's still a language delay. Y'all, there's always going to be a language delay. They learn language differently. They missed out on years of language or months of language. We don't even know as much about how the brain processes language through the cochlear implant. So we're still learning. This is all new stuff. Our kids are like our kids are like on the forefront of the next round of what we're doing in cochlear implant children. And what we're uncovering. So if you think about them sitting in a classroom, and we know that their bucket is shorter, some of them 2 years, some 1 year, some 3 years, and then a teacher's talking and says a big word. Well, they're taught to process and think about that language. So they use a big word or a word that they don't know, and so Lexi's sitting there listening, and of course it's still a lot of information for her to take in. And they say a word. She's taught to think about that word. That's how we taught them we taught them intentionally about language. And so they think about it intentionally. So then what happens to the rest of that information? They're thinking about that word. What does this look like? Possibly spacing out, ADD. And then the rest of it gets missed. So they're not retaining the same amount of information. Think about that in reading strategies. So I don't have all the answers, but what I do know is that when we tested Lexi, she had very high scores in visual learning. Shocker. Like even 12th grade level in one of the testing strategies, she had usually right on par with 1 to 2 years behind in certain language based learning and reading comprehension stuff. So it all points back to those two things. Her bucket's shorter, she's still developing her bucket, and language delays. So I would love to send you her testing. Here's the thing with the testing. A lot of testing centers you'll go into will have you come in and there's just a set of standard tests that they're going to give your child. That is not the way that our children should be tested. So what Dr. Lund said was, why don't we dive in? I do have a certain set that we're going to start with. And then what those reveal, then we'll kind of do an if-then scenario. If she's struggling here, then we need to dive and explore that further and figure out what's causing those delays specifically. Is it syntax? Is it this? Is it that? So we were able to uncover specifically areas that Lexi needs work, which really weren't, to believe it or not, it wasn't that shocking what we found. However, it was eye-opening for her learning team at school. So outcomes, changing the way that we teach her. We pre-teach as much as we can before a classroom discussion of materials. Lexi's now in 4th grade. We started testing all of this last year and kind of getting a plan in place. Focus on the subjects that matter. Don't focus all your energy on something that they're probably going to relearn later down the road when they're a stronger student. Focus on the big core stuff, math, reading, English, grammar, that kind of stuff. Don't worry as much about social studies, etc. So we pre-teach, especially pre-teach vocabulary before class instruction if you can. One teacher would mark the pages of each chapter with key vocabulary, and Lexi and I would just talk about it briefly, just so she got, she's a pretty quick learner. So it wasn't like we had to spend tons of time on this. We just would walk through, hey, do you know that word? Nope. So, okay, this is what that means. Moving on. We all have not very much time, including myself. So, and then we put in retakes on her IEP. That's not the goal forever to have her retake tests. But if she gets anything below, I think it's an 80. I think we did 80. 80 or below, she retakes the test. I think I might have asked them this year to do 85 or below. 85 or below, and she retakes it. Some 80 below, she'll retake that, because our goal isn't for test taking, right? Our goal is mastery of these topics and subjects, and especially the important ones. She's going to bomb art because she has my non-art genes, so we don't worry about art. And then obviously the same stuff. Don't forget they're supposed to be in front of the classroom. Don't forget that you need to push for FM systems. We are installing Roger sound towers in all 4 of her classrooms. She switches at her school CPA. So there's Roger sound towers, which she finds to be like the most helpful technology. Let's see what else. There's all kinds of stuff that is in the packet that I can send you so you can have a sample of what we uncovered. Lexi Vernon is her name. If you see my messy outfits, it's because I have a charity called Songs for Sound. I help kids and families all over the country. We have a mobile hearing clinic. We do all kinds of fun stuff to help people hear and get access to good quality care. So I wanted to reach out to you and give you my mom's kind of chit chat instead of writing it. Save this. Email me at jvernon, VERNON, @songs, SONGS, for sound, and that's SONGS, FORSOUND.com. Yes, I enunciate because I have a deaf child who likes to read lips on top of hearing really well. So anyway, let's see. I think that's it. Pray for Houston. You can reach out to me also for my home address. We're collecting supplies. Hearing supplies specifically, we partnered with Dallas Hearing Foundation, and we're going to be shipping batteries and all that kind of stuff. They're assessing the needs of people with hearing loss. But anyway, reach out to me anytime. Come follow me on Facebook. I post a lot of stuff there. Our blog is on songsforsound.com. If you go to news and events, my blog is there. It's pretty good. I just lay it all out there. I'm pretty much an open book. So have a great day. Let me know if you need anything. That is my email, and my text. I'm a lot better in text, believe it or not. 615-739-1194. I think it just blacked. It just went to sleep on me. 615-739-1194. All right, bye. Thanks so much. Songsforsound.com if you want to check out some more resources. Thanks, guys.